Hare Krishna. Hi everyone. Welcome.
Welcome to Part 4 of Selenium WebDriver questions and answers. In case you have not seen the Part 1 to 3 of this video series, please look at the description for the video links of Part 1 to 3. Let us start. Let's see the next question. What are the types of weights available in the Selenium WebDriver? There are three types of weights available in the Selenium WebDriver. They are implicit weight, explicit weight, and fluent weight. Let's see the next question. What is implicit weight in Selenium WebDriver? Implicit wait tells the WebDriver to wait for certain amount of time before it throws an exception. Once we set the time, WebDriver waits for the element based on the time we set before it throws an exception. Default setting is 0. We need to set some time for WebDriver to wait for the required time. The syntax is driver.manage the timeout.implicit wait, which takes the two arguments, the actual timeout and the time init. The next question, what is WebDriver explicit wait in Selenium WebDriver? Explicit wait or WebDriver wait is applied to certain element with defined conditions and time. This wait is only applied to a specified element. The explicit wait instructs the WebDriver to wait for the certain amount of time for the specific condition before it throws an exception. And the syntax of explicit wait looks like WebDriver wait is equal to new WebDriver wait, driver reference variable, timeout. Then we can wait that until we can specify expected conditions as argument. There are many expected conditions available in the explicit wait, namely wait for alert present, wait for element state, element clickable, element selected, wait for the frame, wait for inusability of the element, presence of element, wait for the text present, title, wait for the visibility of elements. Let's move on to the next question. What is fluent wait in Selenium WebDriver? Fluent wait can define maximum amount of time to wait for a specific condition and frequency at which to check the condition before throwing an element not visible exception. In simple words, fluent wait will be repeatedly verifying the condition for the element to be present until the specified time, checking the condition specified at regular polling intervals before it throws an exception. Let us see the syntax of fluent wait. Wait is equal to new fluent wait of WebDriver reference variable. Then we can specify the timeout, the polling interval, ignoring the exception.class. After this, we can wait for specific element with specific condition, checking at regular polling intervals. Let's move on to the next question. What happens if you mix both implicit wait, explicit wait in the Selenium script? Implicit wait defined only once in the code in the base class. It will remain same throughout the driver object instance. Explicit wait is defined whenever it is necessary in the code. This wait will call at time of the execution. It is a conditional wait. Explicit wait will override the implicit wait wherever the explicit is applied. So explicit wait gets first preference than implicit wait. Next question. What happens if you mix both thread.sleep and WebDriver waits in Selenium scripts? Thread.sleep method can be used to pass the execution for specified time in milliseconds. If we use the WebDriver wait along with the thread.sleep, then WebDriver will hold the execution for specified time, then it will follow for other waits. Test execution time will become more if we mix both the waits. Next question. How to log in into any site if it is showing an authentication pop-up for username and password? To log into the site which is showing authentication pop-up for username and password, we can pass the both username password in the URL. The syntax will be https://username password at URL. How to input text into text box using Selenium WebDriver? We can use sendKeys method to input a text into text box. The syntax is driver.findelement.sendKeys. Next question. How to get input text from the text box without calling the send keys? We can use JavaScript executor. The syntax is we need to initialize the object WebDriver, typecast it to the JavaScript executor. Then we can call the method js.executeScript document.getElement by id.value. Then pass the actual value in the single quotes. Next question. How to clear the text in the text box using Selenium WebDriver? We need to use the clear method to clear the text in the text box. Syntax driver.findelement.clear. Next question. How to get a text from the web element? We can use the getText method. The syntax is driver.findElement.getText. Then we can capture the text in any string. Next question, how to get an attribute using Selenium WebDriver? We can use the method getAttribute to get attribute using Selenium WebDriver. The syntax is driver.findElement.getAttribute of value, capture that attribute in the string. Next question, how to click on hyperlink using Selenium WebDriver? Simple, we can use click method to click on a hyperlink, driver.findElement.click. Next question, how to submit a form using Selenium WebDriver? We can use submit method to submit a form, driver.findElement.submit. Alternatively, we can use the click method to click on the submit element. Next question, how to press enter key on the text box in Selenium WebDriver? To press enter key on the text box in Selenium WebDriver, we can use send keys, passing enum keys like keys.enter or return to press the enter key. The syntax is driver.findElement.sendKeys, keys.enter. Next question, how to pause a test execution for 5 seconds at a specified point? We can use thread.sleep present in the Java language package to make it to wait for specified time. To wait for 5 seconds, we need to specify the time in milliseconds as 5000 as an argument to the thread.sleep. Next question, is Selenium server needed to run the Selenium WebDriver scripts? Selenium server is not needed for WebDriver to run the scripts. It was needed for Selenium RC. But whenever we are distributing our Selenium WebDriver script to execute the distributed systems using Selenium Grid, we need to use the Selenium server. Next question, what happens if you run this command driver.get www.SriKrishnaSdetAutomation.com? If the URL doesn't have HTTP or HTTPS prefix, then the exception is thrown. So we need to pass the HTTP protocol within the driver.get method. Next question, what is the alternative to driver.get method to open an URL using Selenium WebDriver? The alternative method for driver.get URL is driver.navigate to URL. Next question, what is the difference between driver.get and driver.navigate to URL? Driver.get used to open a URL and it will wait till whole page gets loaded. Driver.navigate to use to navigate to the URL and it will not wait till the whole page gets loaded. Next question, can I navigate back and forth in a browser using Selenium WebDriver? We need to use the navigate interface to navigate back and forth in a browser. It has methods like move back, forward to navigate back and forth in a browser. Next question, what are the different type of navigation commands? Navigate interface in Selenium WebDriver as following methods. Driver.navigate.forward. It is used to navigate to the next web page with reference to the browser history. Driver.navigate.back takes back to the previous web page with reference to the browser history. Driver.navigate.refresh. It will refresh the current web page, thereby reloading all the elements. Driver.navigate to URL. To launch a new browser window, I navigate to the specific URL. Next question, how to fetch the current page URL in Selenium? To fetch the current page URL, we can use get current URL, driver.get current URL. Next question, how we can maximize the browser window in Selenium? To maximize browser window in Selenium, we can use maximize method. The syntax is driver.manage.window.maximize. Next question, how to delete cookies in Selenium? We can delete the cookies in Selenium using delete all cookies method. The syntax is driver.manage.delete all cookies. Next question, what are the different ways to refresh a browser using Selenium WebDriver? There are multiple ways to refresh a page in a Selenium. We can use driver.navigate.refresh. We can also use driver.getURL. Then other option is driver.navigate to URL, which internally refreshes the page. Or we can also use driver.navigate to driver.getCurrentURL. The final approach is that we can use sendKeys method keys.f5 as enum, which can refresh the entire browser. Next question, what is the difference between getWindowHandle and getWindowHandles in Selenium WebDriver? Driver.getWindowHandle returns a handle of the current page, is a unique identifier to identify that window. Driver.getWindowHandles, it returns a set of handles of all the web pages available. Next question, what is the difference between driver.close and driver.quit methods? Both driver.close and driver.quit will close the browsers. The main difference is that driver.close close the current WebDriver instance. Driver.quit will close all the open WebDriver instances.
Thanks for watching.